Hello, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Today, we are with our mentor session 2.10.
Excuse me, your voice is not clear.
All right, can you hear me now? All right, so we are here today with our mentor session 2.10 with our mentor, Snežana Bošković. She is People and Culture Specialist. Today, she's here with the topic, how do I search job opportunities? Do I apply to any job or dream job? Let's talk about it. We are honored to have her at WomenAscension. To be honest, she is a mentor not only that inspires others to choose the right path, but also me to do more with time. Apart from being an expert at people and culture in human resource, she's an exceptional writer. Her expedition keeps me wondering when I can join her to the mountains, and she is a yoga master too. I hope in today's session, you will all ask your queries and make the most of it. Thank you, Snežana, for taking that time and for supporting this cause. Over to you.
Hello to everyone. And thank you very much, Mahin, for this nice and welcoming introduction. I am very, very honored to be here today with all of you. And thank you for your invitation to participate in this program. I would like to say to all of you participants, thank you for being patient for waiting while waiting for this session. We had to wait for time because there are many people who knew that this session starts at 8 o'clock. So that's why we had to be on time. So again, thank you for joining us. And please feel free to interrupt me whenever you feel that that maybe I'm not talking clearly, or you want something to be clarified. Do you hear me? Is all good with the sound?
Yes, they need
Yes,
to connect the audio. Yes, they are connecting the audio. Yes, I'm directing them.
Okay, good, great, thank you. So again, please interrupt me whenever you feel like you want to ask me something, or you want me to clarify something, or maybe you have a comment or a question. You can raise your hand. You have that sign between reactions at the bottom of the screen. And if you would rather write, you just feel free to write us the message or the comment within the chat box. So I would be so glad to answer it and to deepen the discussion. So in the beginning, I would like to introduce myself to all of you. My name is Snežana Bošković, and I am, as Mahin said, working within the field of human resources, people and culture for decades. I come from Serbia, and I will tell you a little bit about my educational background and my working experience for the beginning. And then I will tell you what is the agenda of this session, what are the topics that we are going to cover. So my studies are mostly within, let's say, pedagogical sciences. I studied at the University of Novi Sad and had a master's degree in pedagogy. And also I had the luck to have to gain a scholarship from Swedish government and to finish another college for education and communication as well. So my whole... Nice to meet you too. Thank you. So now I would just ask you to mute your microphones, and when you want to speak, just to get in. And in the meanwhile, to mute your microphones. Great. So my professional background is related to working mostly with people. My love is people development. So I was working with individuals, groups, and teams, managing people and projects. Let's say for 6 years now, I'm working within human resources in information technology industry. And I work, I have my own consultancy, but mostly working for programming companies and helping the individuals and teams to grow. I also do a lot of job within recruitment, selection of people, helping organizations to grow, helping their culture to become better and healthier. But also I do a lot of individual work, one-to-one. I also do many trainings for groups and teams, and mostly related to communication, leadership, and skills related to that. So if you would like to contact me or to ask me something else beside this session, you can find me on LinkedIn, which is a professional network, so we can connect and yes, we can, let's say, establish our cooperation through LinkedIn as well. And now I would like to tell you something more about the agenda. So what are the topics that we are going to cover? I'm very happy to be in a company of all of you. So Mahin introduced me who is the audience, which was very important for me. So as I can see now, we have more than 30 participants, which is very good. And I hope that I will, let's say, meet your expectations from this session. So for the beginning, we will talk about looking for a job. Information that I get is that most of you are studying or finishing studies, or some of you are not studying, but let's say you are at the beginning at your professional career. So I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I'm going to share with you my experience, my knowledge, and my skills. And I would be happy if you can find them useful so you can implement them within your, let's say, experience. So we will talk a little bit about how to start to look for a job or maybe for other education opportunities. Then I will try to share with you what are the main challenges, obstacles, and issues when looking for a job. I would also like to talk to you about how to prepare yourself for, let's say, open calls, how to prepare your CV, your motivation letter, and how to communicate with future, let's say, employers. I would also like to talk to you about, let's say, your aims, your goals, and what is important thing when you are at the beginning of the professional career. So if there is something else that you would like to talk today, or something different than you expected, please write it down in the chat box and I will try to incorporate that within my my talk. Okay, so for the beginning, congratulations all of you who are here today, because I think that this is the very first step of looking for something else in your life. So this is the very first step about how do you start to looking for let's say, life improvements and how do you start to work on yourself. So participating on the webinars and session like this can bring you the wider picture, can bring you some new information, and some of those can be useful for you. So maybe you will hear something useful, maybe you will learn something useful, but you never know, and I will encourage you to participate more webinars like this. What is good is that there are many, let's say, free webinars these days, because the internet field is huge, and there are many information for all of you. So let's say it is easier maybe these days than before, because you have all this information, let's say, at the internet. Also, there are many organizations like WomenAscension that you can try to reach and ask for improvement of your education, or maybe for some new opportunities. Okay, so what do you usually do when you start to think about looking for a job? So do you ask yourself first, what do I really want? What kind of job I would like to find? Where would I like to live? What are there some things that I would like to learn or to improve? I think those are very important questions when you are at the beginning at your professional career. At the first place, maybe we should all start with the question why. So why am I trying to do this? Why am I trying to get my education? Why am I trying to, let's say, start to work? And with those answers, it will be much easier for you, because it will open many doors for you. Let's say, let's start with the first step when you are trying to look for a job. What do you do? What are the first steps when starting doing this? So I would like to tell you that first, maybe you should think about what would you like to do. I mean, what are you the best in? Even if you don't have much experience, even if you didn't work before, there are things that you are better in than in some others. First, maybe you should think about in what fields are you good. So, for example, some of you maybe had some experience and try maybe to work with people or to work in some, let's say, shops or restaurants or whatever you do, or even if you didn't work in some other institutions or organizations, maybe you do some things good within your own house. Maybe you are a good organizer. Maybe your family can count on you in many things. Maybe you are good with, let's say, the budget. Maybe you are good with time management, or maybe you are good in communication with other people. So you should put down, in a way, these skills, and please don't forget on them. Also, there are many, if you are looking for the job or for some job opportunity within, let's say, outside your origin country, there are many agencies and many, let's say, applications that can help you to find a job. But first, you have to prepare your own CV. You should be aware of what kind of job you are looking for. And some of organizations, of institutions are also looking for your motivation letter. So did you have, my question is now, did you have opportunity to make your CV before? How many of you did you had experience with writing down your CV or motivation letter? So you can write me down in a chat box, or you can just give me some reaction. So I have a feeling of how many of you, did anyone had an experience of trying to write down your biography? Good. CV. Okay.
Yes,
Also,
Ms. Zarifa. Ms. Zarifa has a question.
okay, good, great. So usually people ask me, can you help me with writing down my CV, or can you check it up? Can you just take a look and give me some recommendations or hints? And okay, I'm reading your answers. Yes, well, most of you had some opportunity to write down the CV, but there are people who didn't have a chance to write it down. Okay, fine. So there are some, let's say, common points that every one of you who sit down and write down your CV, you are challenged about. People usually ask me, how short or how long should be my CV? What should I put inside? Also, shall I put inside everything that I know to do, or just something specific? So we will now talk about this. Some of people ask me, do you have any templates for writing down CVs? Do I have to put it in some template, or just have a blank page and write my CV there? So I can tell you that I usually tell people to search for templates on the internet, because there are many free forms of getting, let's say, CV template. If you cannot find anything that you like, you can see also at the internet some other CVs, and then just make it your own. So it doesn't have to be designed. It doesn't have to look fantastic. I think that you should pay attention more to the content. So of course it should be readable, it should be nice, but the point is what you put inside, what kind of words, what kind of information. So I would tell you that you should keep it simple and you should keep it short. So people with, let's say, experience of several years, or people with no experience, still can have a CV, let's say, written down at one page. So keep it short, because organizations all over the world, every day and every hour, they receive loads and tons of CVs. So my recommendation will be keep it short. So if possible, put it on only one page. So you should also, if it is okay with you, put your photograph, but just be careful and read open calls and the job vacancies. Read it carefully. Somewhere it is strictly written that organization don't want you to put the photo on CV, because they don't want to make any assumptions according to your photo. So just read carefully what is written in the job vacancy and then write down your CV. If you put the photo, I would tell you to be careful about what kind of photo you put on the CV. It is general recommendation that the photo should be professional. It should be simple. It should be photographed like you have it on your personal documents, let's say. So if you don't have photograph like that, just be careful what you put in the CV, or ask somebody to make a picture of you. So you should have a proper photo for your CV. Then what is also very important, as I said, is content. So you should put information about your education. It can be the last finished school, let's say primary school, or if you finish the college, put the name of your degree. If you don't have a college as well, put the name of your highest degree. Then, if you have some other educational courses, or if you have only educational courses, don't forget to put them in the CV. Let's say some people are very eager to get a lot of education, so they listen to many courses at the internet, but don't put everything that you have if it is not related to the job that you are seeking for. So for example, maybe you finish 3 courses, maybe you finish 10 courses. If you did it so much, please pick up 2 to 3 very specific and the most important ones. Beside that, it is very important to put your working experience, or if you don't have any working experience, don't be too sad, because if you were at the faculty, maybe you were participating in some projects, in some teamwork, maybe you organized or co-organized some events, maybe you volunteered in your community, maybe in your high school, or in some organization. That is also working experience. And that also tells us a lot about the candidates who are looking for the job. So don't be shy and don't be afraid if you don't have, let's say, a proper working experience, but also your working experience is your volunteering, your, let's say, school projects, your faculty project, the teamwork that you had in school or at the faculty. So don't forget to think about it and to put it in the CV. Then people usually ask me, what should I put there? How will I describe what did I do in that, let's say, school project or within the faculty teamwork? So I would say put the main responsibilities. So put your main tasks. So what did you do there? What was your responsibility? For example, some of you, maybe you were working in the logistics. Some of you maybe were supplying some community or some project with things that were necessary for that work. Some of you maybe were computer support. Maybe some of you did administrative work. But please write it down and be specific. What did you do? If you did administrative work, don't forget to write down, was it computer work? Was it some work with paperwork? Was it, let's say, some data collecting and stuff like that? If you had working experience, it is not enough only to put your title, for example, associate or assistant or let's say seller or merchandiser or trainer. It will be good if you specified what exactly did you do. For example, preparation work, supervising people, time management of the team, and stuff like that. Then usually people put some set of skills within the CV. It is okay if it is something that you can talk about it. So if you just put the list of skills and you cannot, let's say, provide any kind of proof for it, it can be discussable. So I would say, don't waste your space in the CV for that. Maybe it is better to present yourself in other ways. So if you want to say something more about yourself, keep it for the motivation letter and leave the CV for the facts, information. Keep it simple and short. So how are you going so far? Is this making the sense? What am I talking about? Is it helpful? Am I going to the right direction? Any comments so far? Great, thank you for the feedback. Okay, so any one of you, do you have any question or challenge about the CV? Would you like to make a point or a question? Okay. Yes, I'm reading the comments in the chat box. Yes. So if I understood you well, Shamshad, so you were talking about that we don't need to put everything in our CV, but to choose information that are specific and related to the job that we are applying to. Yes, of course. So for example, I am applying for the job of the manager or assistant to a manager. And I had experience in working in a restaurant. Is this, let's say, related to this job vacancy? Well, maybe no. So my experience in working in a restaurant maybe is very, very related to the manager's position. If I had to organize people, organize events, then yes. But maybe if I was working there as a cleaning person or as a waiter, maybe that kind of experience is not necessarily connected with the job. Okay, and also here are the questions. Are there any links or website for applying job abroad? There are many of them. You should literally go to the internet and, for example, if you are interested about specific country, you should go to the site, official site of the government of specific country, and look there for the organization, for job opportunities. Let's say you can also try to search jobs within employment services. Almost every country has some specific kind of employment service. There are sites like living and working in, let's say, Germany or Turkey or some other country. Okay, so there are many sites. I don't have them in my mind. Maybe you can, I can share with Mahin some, or you can contact me on the LinkedIn and I will try to help you. Okay, what should your main focus be? So the main focus should be, or it would be good to just have this in mind. So if you are applying for the specific position, read the job description carefully. Try not to skip that step. So it is very important to read what are the responsibilities of that job, what are the main duties, and try to relate your CV to that. If you have specific experience, specific skills that are related to that job description, you should notify that. So the main focus, or let's say the main, how would I say, thing to lead you on is the job description or job vacancy or the job post, responsibilities and the expectations from that job. Okay. Let me talk more about motivation letter, and I will go back to the CV according to your questions. So what is a motivation letter actually? Sometimes you will see that employers are looking for the cover letter or motivation letter. We can say that those two things are the same, but what should you put inside? So in motivation letter, you should explain your motivation for applying for that job. Why are you interested in that job? Why did that tackle you? So for example, maybe that is, I usually recommend people to write there something personal. If it is okay for you, maybe you can share your motivation from your childhood or something that is your, let's say, love for the most of your life, or something that is your passion and that you were educated for. So try to write it down, your let's say aims, your skills, but don't put in motivation letter information that somebody can read in your CV. So it should not be the same scope of information. So motivation letter or cover letter should tell the employer more about yourself, about your ambitions, about your dreams, about your goals, and keep the CV for facts, information, and keep it simple. Recommendation letter, sometimes it is written that it should be maybe long for a page or 2 pages somewhere, but if it is not specified, I would say to keep it at half of the page or 1 page maximum. What is recommendation letter? Recommendation letter is actually the recommendation that you have from your co-workers, from your professors. So that letter should recommend you to new employer. In that letter should be written, for example, that you are, if you are, that you were a good worker, someone who can people rely on. So somebody should recommend you for that job. In recommendation letter, your previous employer or let's say associate can also say what kind of experience did he or she have while working with you? Okay, let's go further. We have many questions, so I would like to answer all of them. How many languages in the CV? Is it good to mention too many languages? So I would say put the truth there. So if you really speak 3 or 4 languages, yes, of course, go for it. That is your strength, especially if if that job is expecting from you to know that languages. But even though if it's not specific that you have to know that languages, why not? It is your strength. If you have enough space, yes, go with it. But if you, for example, speak well 2 languages and you understand 2 more, I wouldn't mention those that I can only understand. I would say that I would put there the languages that I can speak well. Sometimes you can put the kind of scale, and you can put also the certificate that you have. So for example, maybe I know Italian at the basic level, and maybe I speak English at intermediate level, and maybe I speak, I don't know, for example, Chinese or Turkish at proficient level. If it is important for the position, be specific. Okay. I'm just going through the questions. Okay. About the photo, thank you for this question. I think it is very important. Should we smile on the photo or keep it, let's say, serious? Well, sometimes it can look like unprofessional, but only if it's too much. I would say that slight smile is okay, but keep it decent. And if it is too much of, let's say, gesture or smile of other details, it is not so professional. But keep it simple, a slight smile, why not? Okay. Yes, formal doesn't mean that you should not smile at all. Okay. Okay, so I made a difference. What is cover letter? What is motivation letter? What is recommendation letter? If you have many recommendation letters, and also, let's say the employer is looking for your CV and your diploma and other documents, be careful not to put too many papers there. Maybe they don't have time to read, but maybe it is better to put there 1 recommendation. It is really good rather than 5, and maybe it will not be read. Okay. Okay, I will give you my LinkedIn profile. Some of them are asking for it. I will put in the chat box. Just a second. Okay, I think I did it. If you can't open, just let me know. Now I'll give you another one. Maybe this you can open easily. Yes. Good. Thank you, Mahin. And you are all very welcome. I'm going through the questions. You are very welcome. Thank you for your feedback. Okay, how to start CV writing? Like, for example, we are expected to start from experience or something else. I would say if you have some experience, start with working experience. It should be maybe the first section. Yes. Education is important, but you know, these days, my experience says that it is more important what do you know to do, what are you eager to do, how open to work to learn you are, how flexible you are, how hardworking you are, rather than it is important what kind of school you finished. But sometimes in the requirement, employers will not specify the education level, or they will say secondary school obligated or bachelor degree, but they don't say what kind of degree because they don't care. They just need your, let's say, academic education because they think that maybe you are well educated, you can look at the wider picture and you have some wider knowledge. But if it's not specific about the education, I would recommend you to put working experience first. Okay. Some of you are asking me for the example of CV. I will now try to give you something. Or yeah, wait. Okay. Now I will give you the link. So I have this only as an example when I work with people, but you can find loads of similar examples on the internet, and also this link here that I'm sending to you. There you will find many examples of good and as well of bad CVs. And I would say that you can learn more from bad CVs rather than from good CVs. When somebody shows you what you should be aware of and not to do in the CV, sometimes it make a bigger impact on you rather than to say what to put in CV. Okay, let me take a look at more of your questions. Okay, how do you evaluate a student who just graduated, who is a foreigner, and the student wants to do a job as an internship? So I am not looking at the, let's say, persons like, I mean, of course, if you're a student, you should ask for an internship. If you are asking for an internship, I don't expect from you to know everything. I mean, even me, I mean, every professional with 10 or 20 years of experience, we always have things that we don't know. But it is very normal, and if we are not open to learn, and if we don't expect the fact that we don't know everything, we cannot grow. So of course that students and interns have a limited, let's say, amount of knowledge. That's why you are looking for opportunities. So write about it, talk about it, show your flexibility, show your openness to learn, to work, to make a progress. That is what people value, and that is what is actually recommended to do. If you are a foreigner, be aware that there are kind of conditions for you to enter some kind of organization and country. Check up the conditions for foreigners for working visas in specific country where you want to work and to have your internship. If this is a kind of online or remote position, again, check up conditions. If you are not certain where to do it, you can always, let's say, contact directly to the employer. Don't be shy. I would really encourage you to make a kind of direct communication, and also start a conversation with emails directly with the employer. Ask about the conditions. Ask what do you need to get there. So this is also kind to show your interest, a way to show your interest and your motivation. And I always appreciate a personal contact if this is okay with you. Okay. Let me see your question. What should we do for those experiences which we have but don't experience letters? So if I understood well, you don't have a proof for that. If this is a case, so you have some experience, you worked somewhere or you volunteered somewhere, but you have proof for that. Anyhow, I would put it in the CV, and once you get to the interview, I will explain the situation. I will explain the context. Maybe you can give the phone number of the contact of your boss, of your manager, or your professor, or anyone that you worked with, even though you don't have any other proof of working there. What makes our CV impressive? I would say honesty, being concise, concrete, simple, and short. Again, and make sure that the information in your CV are truth. If you are giving someone else to write down your CV or to help you with your CV, please check it up once you get the CV back. If you're not feeling okay with something that someone else write for you in your CV, skip it or delete it. Make sure that your CV is telling the story about you. What should you avoid? The information that are not true, the information that you are not certain about. Don't make your responsibility, let's say, wider than there were. Don't be too humble. Please specify everything that you did. Yes, don't put many colors. If you let's say want to underline some text, don't make it bold and underlined and colored. Choose one. So be careful about design in a way. If there is too much of everything, you should avoid that. So keep it simple with color, with text. Choose only one font. So don't mix 2 or 3 fonts in the CV. Okay. I hope I'm getting right with your questions, and I hope you're getting useful answers. If not, please suggest, tell me, correct me, anything you want. Difference between CV and resume, there is no difference. It is the same thing with 2 titles, 2 names, but CV, resume, biography, curriculum vitae in Latin, the same thing. Okay? The cover letter is something else. The cover letter is the same as motivation letter. And the third letter we have recommendation letter. So it is a recommendation from other person that you have for your work. Personal information. Should it be short or in detail? What kind, I would ask you, what kind of personal information? If you put there your address, your email, your telephone, that is kind of personal information, okay? Your personal data. Everything else are information about your work experience and your education. Keep it short if it is not so important for the specific position. If it is very related to the position that you are applying to, be detailed, but be careful about the length of your CV. Okay. Okay, so for all of you who are planning to move abroad, I would always tell you, go for it. Make a good plan and search for the opportunities. Go to the official website or the country governments or employment services. So I would say that can be your first step, and get informed. Read carefully all instructions, ask for help, make direct contact, write emails to the person for contact. So you should search the website of that, let's say, institution very well. Make sure you found a good mail contact, mail address, and send direct emails. Degrees, yes. Some of us have, let's say, some countries, their degrees are, let's say, having better marks in the world, and some not. Never mind, you still have your degree. So don't underestimate the value of that. So just you're having degree, that is important. If some employer is looking for degree, usually it is not specified that you should have American education, you should have European education, you should have, let's say, I don't know. So it is not specified from where you should be educated. So please be, let's say, courageous. You have what you have your aim, you have your skills, you know what you want, go for it. Make a good letter, make a good CV, prepare your documentation, get your diplomas, and yes, apply. Okay, I'm reading other of your questions. We have only 5 minutes more. I'm trying just to go and take a look. Yes, let's say these questions maybe can be useful for all of you. For example, medical doctor, should he mention teaching experience? Why not? Because when you are a medical doctor, once you may be a mentor for other colleagues, so your teaching experience would be very important for that position. Am I right? So of course, in your case, I would tell that. Or if you are applying for a leading positions or the position where you should manage other people, yes, your teaching experience or your experience with other people would be very useful to mention. Okay, never mind the field. Okay, resume the same as CV. Sometimes somewhere you will somebody will ask you for abstract or the summary. that is maybe 1 or 2 paragraphs about yourself. So it is also called something like the golden paragraph. So if somebody is asking you to send that, then you should put there the most specific things about your education and your experience. Okay. Good. And only 2 more questions, and I think we are finished with questions. So if you have 1 year of experience or 5 years of experience or 10 years of experience, it doesn't tell me information about you because I don't know what did you do. Sometimes people with 1 year of experience had the chance to experience so many different things. So they become very skilled. So please don't be missing or unencouraged or with that somebody is asking maybe for 3 years of experience and you have only 2 or only 1. If you went through all the processes that the job description is looking for, I should go for it. So read carefully requirements, and if you meet that expectation, apply. Usually employers cannot find the perfect candidate. And what is the perfect candidate? Sometimes there are lack of candidates, so apply. Okay, certifications. Yes, if you have space for it. If you are asked to send them, if not, maybe not. You should mention them in the CV, but don't send them as a separate attachments if you are not asked to. Okay. Thank all of you. We are at the very end of the session. I know that you have many other questions. You can contact me, you can ask Mahin for more information, and I would be very, very happy to help you in the future. And I would be very helpful that I succeed today to maybe encourage you, to give you some hints, some information, so you can start from here. Okay. Thank all of you for your information, for your questions and for your comments. And I hope that in the future we will have more live opportunities to meet and to talk and to discuss. But I'm very happy if I could help you and support you today. Thank you all so much. Thank you for those kind words. And I hope that we'll have a chance to meet again and to talk again. Mahin, we are at the very end.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Snežana. We have provided them the link if they have more queries, so I will direct them to you.
Okay, good. Okay. Thank you very much, Mahin. Again, thank you for your invitation. Thank you all guys for listening to me and for so nice questions and your comments. And I wish you all a lot of luck and success in your career path. Okay.
And Snežana,
Thank you all.
all of us,
Bye-bye.
thank you from all of us. Thank you very much. Take care, Snežana.